Hey everyone, it's Ang Din Naven, and today we're diving into the vast and action-packed world of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We're talking superheroes, villains, Infinity Stones, and everything in between. With over 20 films spanning over a decade, the MCU has given us some of the biggest cinematic moments in history. But with so many movies, it begs the question, which ones are the best? Today we're ranking all the MCU movies from worst to best. We'll be looking at everything from story and characters to visual effects and overall impact on the MCU. This is going to be a tough one, guys. There are some truly amazing films in this franchise, and narrowing them down is no easy feat. But hey, that's what we're here for, right? To dive deep into these movies, dissect them, and ultimately celebrate everything we love about the MCU. So whether you're a die-hard Marvel fan who's seen every movie a dozen times, or a newcomer just getting started, buckle up! This is going to be one epic ride through the world of Marvel. Let's get started. Kicking off our list, we have Thor: The Dark World. Now this film isn't necessarily bad, but it often gets lost in the shuffle of the MCU. The story felt a little convoluted even with the introduction of Malekith and the Ether. We didn't really get a chance to connect with the villain or understand his motivations as well as we could have. And while the visuals were stunning, especially those sweeping shots of Asgard and the other realms, the overall narrative felt a bit lacking. It didn't quite have the same charm as the first Thor movie, and it didn't push the boundaries of the MCU like some of the other films on this list. Next up, we have Iron Man 2. While it had its moments, this sequel struggled to recapture the magic of the original Iron Man. The introduction of War Machine was cool, don't get me wrong, but the overall plot felt a little all over the place. We had Tony Stark dealing with the arc reactor poisoning, the pressure from the government, and a vengeful Whiplash, all while trying to maintain his playboy persona. It just felt like a lot to juggle, and some of the character development, particularly Tony's, felt a little rushed. However, it's worth noting that Iron Man 2 did give us some iconic moments like the suitcase suit-up and the epic battle at the Stark Expo. The Incredible Hulk is a bit of an anomaly in the MCU. With Edward Norton taking on the role of Bruce Banner, it felt tonally different from the other films. Now, Norton's performance was fantastic, don't get me wrong, but the film as a whole felt somewhat disconnected from the larger MCU narrative. However, it did lay the groundwork for the Hulk's character arc, showcasing his struggles with his powers and his desire to find a cure. Plus, the action sequences were absolutely incredible. The final showdown between Hulk and Abomination was pure visual spectacle. Now we're getting into some of the good stuff. Thor, the first film to introduce us to the God of Thunder, was a surprisingly charming and entertaining entry into the MCU. Chris Hemsworth perfectly embodied the arrogant yet lovable Thor, and his journey of redemption from arrogant prince to worthy warrior was captivating. The film also did a great job of introducing Asgardian lore and mythology, adding a whole new layer of depth to the MCU. Plus, who could forget that epic final battle between Thor and the Destroyer? Doctor Strange, man, talk about a visual masterpiece. This film was a feast for the eyes, with its mind-bending special effects and stunning sequences that literally turned the world upside down. But beyond the visuals, Doctor Strange also introduced us to the world of magic and mysticism in the MCU, opening up a whole new realm of possibilities. Benedict Cumberbatch was perfectly cast as the arrogant but brilliant surgeon-turned-sorcerer, and his journey of self-discovery and learning to control his powers was both entertaining and thought-provoking. Guardians of the Galaxy Vol. 2 took everything we loved about the first film and cranked it up to 11. The humor was on point, the soundtrack was amazing, and the characters were even more lovable and relatable this time around. But what really elevated this film was its exploration of family and what it truly means to belong. The relationship between Peter Quill and Ego was both heartwarming and heartbreaking, and it added a layer of emotional depth that we hadn't really seen in the MCU up to that point. Spider-Man. Homecoming was a breath of fresh air for the web-slinger. After multiple reboots, Tom Holland finally brought us the Spider-Man we'd always wanted to see on the big screen. He was young, awkward, and full of that classic Spidey charm. But what made this film work so well was its integration into the MCU. Having Tony Stark as a mentor figure added a whole new dynamic to Peter's journey, and it was just plain fun to see Spider-Man interacting with the Avengers. Black Panther, guys. What can I say about this film that hasn't already been said? It was more than just a superhero movie, it was a cultural phenomenon. From its stunning Afrofuturism to its powerful message of representation and responsibility, Black Panther shattered expectations and became a global sensation. Chadwick Boseman gave an unforgettable performance as T'Challa, and the supporting cast, which included Michael B. Jordan, Lupita Nyong'o, and Danai Gurira, was absolutely phenomenal. This film was a game-changer for Marvel and for cinema as a whole. Avengers Endgame was the culmination of over a decade of storytelling. It was the end of an era, a love letter to the fans, and a truly epic conclusion to the Infinity Saga. The stakes had never been higher, the emotions had never been more raw, and the action had never been more intense. Seeing all of our favorite heroes come together to fight Thanos one last time was a truly unforgettable cinematic experience, and the film's ending, while bittersweet, provided a satisfying conclusion to one of the greatest stories ever told on screen. And finally, we come to our number one pick, Avengers Infinity War. This film was a game-changer. It was bold, ambitious, and utterly devastating. The Russo brothers managed to juggle a massive cast of characters while delivering a story that was both epic in scope and deeply personal. Thanos was the most compelling villain the MCU had ever seen up to that point, and his plan to wipe out half of all life in the universe had us all on the edge of our seats. The ending of Infinity War left us speechless, heartbroken, and desperate to know what would happen next. So there you have it, folks. Our ranking of all the MCU movies from worst to best. It was a tough journey, filled with incredible highs and a few lows. But that's the beauty of the MCU, isn't it? It's a sprawling, ever-evolving tapestry of stories and characters that continues to captivate and inspire us. Whether you agree with our list or not, one thing's for sure, the MCU has left an undeniable mark on cinema history. These films have brought us together, made us laugh, made us cry, and reminded us of the power of hope, courage, and the importance of fighting for what we believe in. What are your favorite MCU movies? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more awesome content.